in Cambodia. Feeling a bit under the weather, unfortunately. But yeah, Cambodia made me sick. And it sucks. I just have to say, I've been going through tissues like crazy in the last 24 hours. This happens to be one of the used ones. Not to gross you out. But yeah, we got some things to talk about. I feel a little bit better today. I don't know if this nasty head cold is going to start moving into my lungs. Remains to be seen. Hopefully not. But yeah, I want to talk about this cold because I've never had head colds like this back home in Florida in the United States. So I don't know what's up with this head cold, but it just knocked me for a loop, man. Like this ain't nothing to F around with. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Hold on, I'm just pulling up the comments on the laptop and everything. But yeah, getting sick out here really sucks, man. Like the last time I had this wicked head cold was when I was already here in Cambodia for maybe about 3 months, okay? And then all of a sudden, yeah, so I was in here 3 months. I got that job at the school and I got the head cold while I was working. So I just equate the cold back then with actually the kids, because the kids are touchy-feely and, they have germs all over themselves. So I figured maybe I just got the cold from them, and it was a super wicked head cold, like runny nose, sinus crap, blowing your nose constantly. Then it went from my head down into my chest, and it was just full of congestion, and that went on and on and on for about, even after I quit the job, it went on and on and on for about a month, maybe a month and a half before it actually went away. So it's something pretty nasty. Now this one here, I just caught this 24 hours ago. I swear to God, your girl was perfectly fine 24 hours ago. Maybe 48 hours. Let's make it 48 hours. Because in the last 24 hours, I just started sneezing, okay? I just started sneezing my ass off. And then I felt, like this congestion going on in my head. And I says, oh, no, don't tell me it's that same thing. And I have not been around kids, so it must be something in the air. Something's going on. Because I was thinking, well, where the hell have I been? Where could I have possibly picked up this germ, right? So I'm thinking, like, I haven't been out of the house the last couple days. Last time I was on the road is when I brought you that live stream when we did the tuk-tuk, live stream. I was showing you from the tuk-tuk. And we were going out to Euro Park, was the last time. And I did go into a coffee shop, but I was upstairs. They brought the food to me. So I'm thinking, well, I either caught it inside this coffee shop somehow, or I just caught it while I was driving in that tuk-tuk. Because normally, ever since that last cold, I always put that, medical mask on when I'm in the tuk-tuk, keep the wind from blowing so much in my face and all that pollution and gunk off of me. But since I was filming that live stream, I didn't have my face mask on, and I was cruising about 40 minutes down to Euro Park without a face mask on. So I'm thinking, I don't think it really was the coffee shop. I think I caught something in the air. I was literally just breathing that air in, raw and unfiltered. And I think I got that head cold from just whatever germ was in the air. Or who knows? Maybe this is pollen season out here? Hell if I know. I don't know. I noticed my mango tree is blooming. Could it be that I'm just catching pollen from the mango tree? I have no idea. All I know is that it's been a bitch, man. Like, yesterday I was sneezing my ass off all day long. Went through a box of these all yesterday. My nose is probably all red right here. I know it's pretty gross, but. And then last night, luckily, like when you lean back, all that stuff just drains down. So I was able to sleep pretty good. Sneezed a couple times in the middle of the night, but I was still able to sleep. And then today, woke up sneezing my ass off, but it seems to be dissipating a bit, which is good. So I was like, I was contemplating, should I jump on a live stream? I'm not feeling 100%, but hey, the show must go on, as they say. Plus, there's some things to talk about. I mean, there's been some things going on. And, it is what it is, right? Hey, Maven, typical at least once a year. Yeah, well, unfortunately for me, it's twice a year. I'm just hoping that this shit just goes away and it's just like in the head kind of thing. Because right now it's just all sinus. It's all up here. So hopefully it does not start to like migrate down into the lungs. But I did drink a shit ton of green tea yesterday, guys. I drank a bunch of green tea with citrus just to try to knock some of this out. And like I said, I do feel a lot better today. Hey, Kaven, how you doing? Let's see what's happening. Hey, I was sick with back in Australia, slowly recovering. I put it down to constant getting wet and sweating and virus abound everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna sweat out here in Cambodia, but I always thought sweating was good. You know what I mean? Because it cleans if I can even talk, it cleans the pores out, right? So you're sweating toxins out of your body. I don't know, man, but then again, you're going in and out of air-conditioned buildings, sort of like in Florida, my home state. Like it's 95 outside, you sweat your ass off, then you go into an ice-cold air-conditioned building. In fact, that coffee shop I jumped into, I mean, it felt like it was 50 degrees in there, man. It was cold. But then I went upstairs, like in the loft, and it felt more comfortable. So maybe just that contrast of being outside in the heat for like an hour or 2 hours and then going right in there into an ice cold box. That could be it too, but yeah. Hey. Lal says, drink elderberry tea. I was going to say, if anybody's got any tips or tricks. I mean, I know the green tea with like lemon or lime, I'd use that. But elderberry tea, I've never had that. So that's a good idea. Thank you. Proven to work better than antibiotics or anything. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to look for, if it still continues, I'll look for that stuff. Hot water with lime, ginger, honey, Royal D packets are also good. Okay, cool. Hey, that's a great idea, Maven. I actually do have ginger and honey, and I've got lime. Yeah, because I only got 1 pack of green tea left. So that's good. I'll transition to that. Thank you. Andrew. Hey, Andrew. Honey, lemon, and ginger tea. General drink with disinfectant properties. Honey and lemon disinfects the throat. Ginger also stabilizes your stomach, and hot water serves your body well. Awesome. Awesome. I knew you guys would get my back, man. I knew it. And of course, I'm drinking plenty of water. That's just me. I don't like to feel like dehydrated, and blowing my nose all through the day makes me feel super dehydrated too. All right, cool. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Hold up. Y'all are jumping in here with some stuff. Let me just see what's going on. I got to get back to your comments. Caven says, I fell back on my keto diet down to the percent of food was not available. Only rice, worst thing to consume. That was the main reason. Keto would not have any problem. Okay. So you're saying, if I'm reading this right, Caven, that because of keto that you stay healthy? Is that what I'm getting? Because you're on the keto diet, and if you fell back on it, you would get sick? Yeah, I'm not a big rice eater. Like, um, every now and then. Actually, I did have rice at that coffee shop. That is so funny you should say that. I had a meal there. It was beef lok lak, and it comes with like a thing of rice. And I was really hungry. Normally, I don't eat the rice with it, but I ate about 3/4 of the rice with the beef lok lak, and I had a salad with it. Um, who knows? Who knows? Hey, Rabbit News, what's up? Let me see what she said here. Here's good for you when you feel like this. At the market, they sell porridge. They put ginger in it. Oh, pork porridge or fish porridge. I guarantee you feel better. No kidding. You know what? I've seen porridge and I've never ordered that. I don't know, man, but I've never heard of it mixed with pork and fish. Um, that sounds good. I'm gonna have to try that. I mean, it doesn't look that good. I've looked at the porridge and it looks like really soupy and yeah, just really liquidy soupy. But if you say it's good and it works, I could try that too. That sounds pretty cool. Fenga Z's in the house. Hey, ginger tea works for you whenever I get a cold, like symptoms like that. You're a fan of ginger. Yeah, I have ginger in my refrigerator religiously. We got you, Digi fam. Yeah, Andrew, thank you guys. I figured you would. I figured sweating's perfect. Yeah. The porridge is called, what's it called? Cambodians always eat it for any illnesses. Bobal? Bobal? If I'm reading, my glasses aren't on there. Okay. Okay. Appreciate it. Do I have you? Hello? Hello? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me or see me. I had to switch the Wi-Fi thing. 100% true. So the fish porridge works better for when you're sick. Ask him for extra ginger if you decide to order a bowl. Okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Maven. Glad I said it right. Cool. I'll do that. I'll do that. Well, I'm going to go off tomorrow and I'll film something cool for you guys tomorrow. Oh, you can hear me? Okay, cool. Make sure to get a drink with electrolytes. Hey, T, how's it going? It helps with hydrogen. Yeah, yeah. Or I can just get a coconut, right? Doesn't it have electrolytes, the coconut? Get me good old coconut water. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, I will do everything. I'm bound and determined because I don't want to be sick for another month. Like that just really sucks. So we'll just see how it all goes, right? Okay, guys. Some things I wanted to share with you. Hold on. Let me put this out there. Let me copy paste it real quick. All right, this guy's channel is named M and M Wonderings. I'm gonna put it in the chat. If you want to see him interview me, okay? Somebody actually interviewed me. So this is my first interview that I gave to somebody. So I put it in the chat. That's the link. You get some time, go check it out. It's on his channel. Yeah, so he interviewed me. So if you guys, don't really know my history or my backstory, if some of you do, because you've been following me around, and I appreciate you guys, but for those of you that aren't too familiar with my backstory and what got me to Cambodia, actually I go way back. So this interview takes you even before the teaching ideas and all that. Like, it gives you a real good backstory of my history and then how the travel bug came to be. And, it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's a pretty good interview. So yeah, show him some love. Go to that channel. Of course, after you talk with me, and go check it out. And that is the same guy that I interviewed, which I'll have him on my channel this coming week, at the end of the week on Friday. His name's Mark. And yeah, we sort of interviewed each other when we were at the park. So I interviewed him and his girlfriend, which will be out next Friday. You guys will get to see that one. And then he says, "Can I interview you?" And I was like, "Okay." You know, I was like, whatever. I mean, nobody's interviewed me. Let's do this on the fly, right? So he got his camera equipment set up, and then we just shot it right then and there. Yeah, and it was pretty cool. It was a good interview. So you definitely want to check it out. I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun. Well, you guys got any questions for me? Awfully quiet. I don't know if you can hear me or if something's wrong. Because I keep seeing stuff going still, so I'm not sure about the video. So did you get the link I put out there for the interview? I don't know. Anyway, it's out there. But yeah, that's the interview about me. So yeah, you can go check it out on M&M Wandering's channel. Pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. Okay, cool. You can hear me. Okay. What else did I want to go over with you guys? Well, I'm sure. Well, maybe. I don't know when you got back. Oh, you saw the link? Okay, Fang-Yu, thank you. All right. Can I just call you Z? Or Chi? Can I say Chi or Z? I can't pronounce that first part. Fang-Yu, G? Or is it she or G? I don't know. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Just terrible. So I apologize if I completely butchered that handle. But yeah, things have been quieting down, or getting back to normal. I wouldn't say quieting down, but it's getting back to normal out here. Remember I told you last week we had the Ancestors Day festivals going on. I think it is technically still going on. I think they go for like 15 total days. But most people, you know, they get time off of work. They're not gone for 15 days out of the city. So I noticed in my neighborhood, like it was dead silent. This past 3-4 days when this was going on, it was dead silent. Now everybody's come back. So the neighborhood is starting to pick up with more people and more sounds, and the, what do you call the vendors, the street vendors starting to come through. And yeah, it's starting to sound like a neighborhood again. The dogs are barking. It seems like life has come back to the hood, right? Like whereas before it was just super, super quiet. And yeah, it was almost like a ghost town around here. Like all my neighbors were just gone. They took off. And I was just here enjoying the silence and just listening to the birds and the rain. And I was like, man, this is almost like being out in the provinces, right? But I'm in the middle of the city. So that's what's sort of good about these holidays, especially like, because I mean, I don't have any family, you know, that live out here in a province. So I don't have any reason to actually leave the city, you know what I mean? So when everybody else, like, they just leave, you know, like 3/4 of the city is gone. It's almost like a ghost town. A lot of these businesses shut down, and it's just amazing how easy it is to get around by tuk-tuk. There's hardly no traffic. And I'm like, this is sort of nice, you know, like I don't mind hanging out when everybody leaves. I actually loved it. I loved it. It reminded me of around when we had the New Year's. You know, because the New Year's is a little different than our New Year's in America. We have it, December 31st? They have it later on. And this place was emptied out then. And I was like, I don't think it would empty out again, but it did. And I was shocked. I was like, wow. Oh, try saying Fang-E? Fang-E? Okay, Fang-E. I'll try that. Emery girl, hi. Nice to see you and the crew. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can hear it in my voice. I'm a little cracky. Thanks. Thanks, Fengi. Feng E. I'm going to have to remember that. Hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. That's my neighbor. He's back with the motorcycles. Boom, boom, boom. He works on motorcycles, so you're going to hear that. That's close enough. Feng E. Feng E? You know, it just never ceases to amaze me that anybody would even want to hire me as a teacher. Because it's like, I mean, I remember when I was in that classroom and I was trying to pronounce the children's names. I butchered them so bad. I mean, there was a couple of them that I got that were pretty, like one kid was named Joe. I was like, okay, I can do that, right? But everybody else had the Khmer, Cambodian first names, and I was just like, I was so lost. Like I couldn't, and then you had to memorize the name with the child, of course, and then you're pulling out the notebooks with the name on it, and you're like, you know, and I'm just like butchering the name, Chinkaboo? I mean, I don't know, and they're all just looking at me like this. And I'm like, chinkaboos, or any chinkaboo in the room? And they're like, and then the teacher's assistant would be like just handing it to the child. I was like, thank you so much, because this is embarrassing. No E is close enough. No E. So just say Fang? Can I just call you Fang? Let's go with Fang. How's that sound? That sounds good. But yeah. But since then, I've had, out of the blue, I've had schools actually email me for interviews, and I have not applied, okay? So I'm thinking either my resume just sits in a Cambodian school system and it's just floating around, and then when they need somebody right away, they just email, they send out a blast email of anybody who's a foreigner that's living here, that's on file. I guess is how they do it. Like I had one interview, one guy asked me to do an interview like the same day he interviewed me. I was like, geez, talk about giving me notice. He he asked me at noon. He sent me an email at noon, and then he says, can you come in an hour, like 1 o'clock? And I wrote him back. I'm like, no. Number one, that is too short of a time span to be asking me to come in for an interview. And number two, I bet you 10 to 1 you want me to teach kindergarten kids again. So of course I wrote him back and I asked him, I says, okay, what are the age of the kids? And is this full-time or part-time? Age is 5, what's your kindergarten? Full-time. And I was like, nope, not interested. Goodbye. Thank you for the offer, but no. Let me think about it. No. So yeah, that is very strange to me. I've never ever had anybody chase me down for a job. Like, you know, back in the States, you're chasing the job, right? You can hardly ever, like you can apply somewhere and you can hardly ever get anybody to actually call you back for a job, or email you and say, hey, we found somebody else. You know, like they don't do that back there. You're chasing the employer. And out here, it seems like the employer's chasing you. So it's pretty awkward. To me, just seems a little awkward. But yeah, things are pretty cool right now. How many major holidays in Cambodia when everything shuts down? Damn, I wish I could tell you. If Maven's still in the chat, she can definitely tell you because she works as a professor, but I don't know. Robert says, that is true in the U.S., especially in California. Yeah, I don't know much about California, but if it's anything like my home state, Florida, it sucks. I mean, do you remember the good old days when you could actually just walk into a place? You could see a sign on the window that says help wanted, right? Or on the door. And you just walked in and just say, hey, I'm looking for a job. And they're like, fill out this application. Oh, and if you could stick around for a couple hours, we'll get you an interview like right now with the manager. You remember those days? That was pre-internet. And like you could have a job usually within 24 hours. Like those are some cool days. Or even if they asked you to come back to meet the manager, it was like no sweat. You just, I mean, it was nerve wracking, but you could just like bullshit your way to a really good job. I liked it. You didn't have to dodge any AI bots to get to the boss, right? Oh, wow. Is it that bad, Robert? They're almost impossible to get in Southern California. You can apply for 1,000 jobs and still get ghosted. Yeah, I've heard a lot of that lately. I guess it is that way everywhere. I mean, it's not just Southern California. It's also like in Orlando. Like I can remember when my daughter was unemployed, when I came back to the States just this past year around the holidays, she got fired from her one job right before I showed up, man. Talk about timing. Right through the holidays. They always love to fire your ass right at Christmas time, right? Yeah. So anyway, and it's not like she was applying online to everything. She was on Indeed. She was on all of those online job sites. She put in her resume, cover letters, like she was blasting them out one after the other. The whole time I was there for 3 months, and she had interviews. She had a lot of interviews online. She talked to them on the phone, or she had to go into an office and talk to somebody. And then they would say, well, if you pass the first interview, then, you go to the second interview to meet the assistant manager. And it was all this bullshit. And it's like, she never got to pass the second interview, and then they never would call her or email her. She'd have to call and chase them or email them and say, hey, did I get the job? Did I not get the job? And it was just such a bullshit. And she finally landed a job with Progressive 4 months. 1 month after I left, she got a job, but it took her 4 months to find work. Whew, man, she was scared shitless, man. She was like, Mom, I can't keep up my bills. Like, I had to help her out in that time period. For sure, man. Oversaturated, yeah. Excuse me. Khmer New Year, Poland Bend, yeah, the Ancestor Day are the two when everyone leaves. Water Festival, everyone comes to Phnom Penh. I hear they canceled the boat races this year. If so, they will go. I don't know about the boat races. That would be cool. I'd like to see that. Damn. Yeah, I noticed with the water festival, I was here for the water festival, like everybody was here. It was definitely crowded. Yeah. I was like, I ain't trying to get in the middle of that. I don't want to get wet and blasted in the eyeball with some water gun, some crazy kid. Feng says, Pijamben and New Year are the only holidays I think of when most people leave the city. Oh, so there's only 2 of them. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Maven. Could you tell us the current situation with Cambodia and Thailand disputes? Honestly, I haven't been following the news on that because everything's cool out here. Like, I'm not going to keep worrying about it unless I see a problem in Phnom Penh. And everything is business as usual. Like, I don't see anybody, like, feeling stressed out about it. Last I heard that, the ceasefire is still in place. I mean, I know they're having issues at the border. I read some articles not long ago saying that, there's a lot of immigrants trying to get in and out of Cambodia and Thailand. So they're having issues moving people around and getting the places back together, because they were bombed. But other than that, I mean, there's a ceasefire. There's no issue here in Phnom Penh. Um, Everything's business as usual. Now, I have noticed one thing is that some of the prices in the grocery store have been going up. Like, for instance, eggs, okay? Now, I know this is very, very minuscule compared to the United States. Like, woo, let me get the little teeny violin out. But eggs have gone up a dime, okay? They've gone up a dime since I've last looked. Like, I used to be able to get a carton of eggs out here for $1.40 in the grocery store. Now they're $1.49. You might as well say they've gone up a dime. So little things like that, I've noticed like little inches of groceries are starting to creep up. So it might have something to do with them trying to get supplies in and out of Thailand. That's just my theory. I don't know. It's just my theory. Okay, so thanks, Maven. Yeah, so the Thai military is causing problems, and the Khmer forces aren't engaging. Well, good. As long as they don't come over the line and start any more crap with us, that's fine. Yeah, it's still super cheap compared to eggs in San Diego. Yeah, I can imagine what eggs are in San Diego. Let me take a wild guess before you tell me. I'm going to go with $6. Am I right? Is it $6 a carton in San Diego? Because it's $1.49 out here. But I mean, you got to figure, you got to look at where you're at, right? If eggs out here were $6, we'd all be starving because everybody uses eggs in everything out here. Eggs are a staple, man. You get a fried egg on top of rice just about everywhere out here. So let's hope the chickens never go on strike out here. I like my fried eggs. I'm on the mark, no shit. $6 to $7 a dozen. And I was hoping I was wrong, but that is sad. Le Pent. Get some laying hens. I don't think my landlady wants me to have any hens out here. I can't do it where I'm at. I go to Costco and buy in bulk, which is a lot cheaper. Yeah, I mean, you guys do have that. We do have something similar to Costco out here, which is called Macro. And you can buy things in bulk out there. But it's like, it's just me. Like, I don't... What am I going to do with like 20 eggs, right? I mean, yeah, I can just eat one egg a day. It would last me a month, but hell, they'll probably hatch by the time I get to the last dozen. So it's like, I don't need 20 eggs at a time, I really just go to, I go to a regular super, it's called Super Duper. I go down the street and I just get our eggs are 10 to a pack, by the way. I know in the States they're 12 to a pack. For some reason, I guess because it's a nice even number, Asia just puts 10 eggs in a carton. So you get 10 eggs for $1.40. $1.49, excuse me. Duck eggs are more, unfortunately. Yeah, duck eggs are more. I normally cook at home, Robert. I only dine out maybe twice a week. I limit myself. I guess I'm just I'm in such a budget mentality. Like I've always been that way, even back in the States, that I've carried that habit here, which is a good habit to have because it helps me save money. Even though food is cheap, I mean, it's not super cheap, okay? Now, let's face it, it depends on where you dine. Because you can go to some fancy restaurants out here and spend $50 a meal. Or you can hit up the street food and spend $2 for something off a cart. Or you can get something in between, like me, and I go to a decent restaurant and maybe spend $5 or $6 for a meal and a drink. But I only go out like, I only do it twice a week. The rest of the time I cook. I don't mind cooking. I like to cook and experiment. Like I love to get different spices and herbs from the grocery store, and I just like, I experiment. I make some damn good meals. I have to say I'm a pretty good cook. Gordon Ramsay might want me one day. Not. Fang says it was $5.79 for 1 dozen of cage-free eggs in Boston. Dang. And that's what kills me. It's like, in America, they got organic, cage-free, range-free, all these different labels for eggs, right? Out here, you've got, I have seen just says eggs, and then it says, I think they do have organic, but that's it. You get 2 choices, eggs or organic. Like there's nothing in between. And then you got, of course, you know, different varieties of eggs. You got quail eggs, duck eggs, and chicken eggs. Duck eggs I like, but they are a little bit more pricey. They're about, I don't know, a little over $2 a carton for duck eggs, but you don't get 10. You get maybe like 5 or 6 of them. Yeah, they're smaller, no steroids. I'd rather have a smaller egg with no steroids, Maven, than a big fat egg full of steroids, because I don't need that. I don't want none of that shit in my body. So I'm perfectly happy. Like today, I made my normal 2 eggs for breakfast, mixed it with veggies and everything, and then just had my little side bowl of fruit, my coffee. I'm good to go. Yeah, $5 to $6 is reasonable. Yeah, I set that budget for myself. It just works for me. So you figure, let's say I spend $6 2 times a week. That's $12 a week eating out. What is that? About $48 a month dining out. Yeah, it's a real good budget that I like to follow. So, and then like I said, my groceries, like last week, I got my normal stuff that I usually get plus some dessert, and I only spent $20 on groceries. So it's just me. Now, a single person, you know, depending on what you buy at the grocery store, you can get away pretty cheap. Like my average grocery bill is anywhere from $20 to $35, depending, fluctuates on what I need in the moment. But yeah, the low end is $20 average, the high end is $35. Because meat is cheap out here, guys. Other than, I would say, seafood. I'm not a big seafood fan, but I've been looking at fish, and I mean, they got shrimp, guys, that are like this long. It will blow your mind. And they're about that thick, like big ass shrimp. You can get a pack of them, but they want like close to $10 a pack. You know, maybe a splurge every now and then. I might want to get a big pack of shrimp. But most of the time, I just get chicken, pork, sometimes duck meat, and a little bit of kamai beef. I can get away with $1.50 to $1.80 a pack for meat, and you get enough in a package where you can I can divide it up by either 2 or 3 sections, because I don't need a whole bunch of meat with my meal. I just cut it up, maybe about this much meat, throw it in a pan with some veggies and maybe some, you know, beans or something, and I'm good to go. That fills me up. How do you get around in the city if you need to go somewhere? Do you walk or take public transportation? It's not very walkable where I live, Robert. I take a tuk-tuk. It's very cheap and reasonable to get on a tuk-tuk. They have a Grab app. They have other apps too, but my favorite is Grab because I can hook up my credit card to it. And there's no haggling with the driver, so it's like, think of Grab as like an Uber, okay? If you're familiar with Uber in the States, Grab is the same thing. So you plug in the address where you want to go. Your credit card's already hooked up, so it makes the payment, and then you get your ride within 2 to 3 minutes flat. They're all over here. So it's like having your own private driver on speed dial. I love it. I love it. So yeah, anytime I need a ride, I just go boop, 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 boop. Get my ride in 2 minutes, boom, I'm on the road, I'm heading across town. And usually depending on where you go, I would say on average, a 15-minute ride is maybe $2 one way. A 30-minute ride can be about $3 from where I live. And anything over that is going to cost me, of course, about, the most I've ever paid for one way is about $4. And that's going way like down south past the river. Like I'm way on the west side, so it takes me a good 35 to 40 minutes to get down to the river. If I get way down to the tip of the river, it'll cost me about $4. But anywhere near where I live, like going up to my grocery store is like 10-minute ride. It costs me 80 cents. I mean, it's cheap. So yeah, but as far as walking, I mean, the infrastructure out here is not that great for walking. You could do it. I'm not saying you can't do it, but the streets are really rough, okay? So you better be careful. Plus you got motor cars just zooming all around. In other words, you're sharing the road, which is the sidewalk, but it's really the road with everything else that's on it. So it's pretty tricky, man. It's pretty tricky walking out here unless you're in designated areas. Let's say like if you're walking down by the river, they have a nice little walkway, sidewalk, no problem. They do have some green spaces, like actual parks that are in between the roads out here. Those are nice, no problem. But the actual streets themselves really ain't got no sidewalks, and if they do, they're actually meant for motorbikes to park on. They're not really meant for you to walk on. just to let you know. Maven says, I was shocked in America. Most meals were $17 to $25. I think that's the cheap end, isn't it? Shit, I know I had sticker shock in Orlando. Like we went out to eat. Me and the kids and their significant others, they wanted to go to, what's our favorite restaurant? Shit, I'm trying to think. Where they cook everything in the wok in front of you. It's like a Japanese restaurant. I forget the name of it. But it's a big, big thing out there in Orlando. So we went out, and I ordered just like tofu and veggie. Like I got the cheapest thing on the menu with a drink. And it came with a side thing of miso soup, but I swear to God, it cost me, I think $35 for that meal. And I was like, sticker shock, $35. And I didn't even tip the guy yet. It's just vegetables and tofu. Like, what? Yeah, I know, it's a shock. Yeah, Robert, the prices are really good on transportation. And you can go even cheaper if you take the public bus, but my bus route isn't close. I'd have to walk way up in the heat to get to the closest bus stop. But I hear it's pretty cheap, like it's like 30 cents a ride or something like that. But they're not really reliable. So like if you need to get somewhere now, you might as well just forget it with the bus. So I think the tuk-tuks are your best option. Robert, yeah, it's dangerous, but here's what's cool about Cambodia, or at least Phnom Penh. Everybody is very mindful. I think it's a Zen thing out here. Like, everybody works in unison and everybody looks out for each other. So if they see you on the road, they know to go around you. Like, you can almost trust people to move around you and go around you on the motorbikes and everything. It's hard to explain. It's scary, but luckily not everybody's like just staring at their cell phones when they're driving. Although I've caught a few people doing that, but they pay attention to people and things on the road. They have to, because you got everything from, like I said, everything from an automobile down to a person walking and everything in between. It's just crazy. Benihana? No, it's not Benihana, Maven. Shit, I can't think of Kobe's. Kobe's, that's the name of that place. I think it's Kobi, but it's called Kobe's Restaurant. Kobe's Japanese Restaurant. My kids love that place. So I was like, okay, I haven't been to that place in a while. And that's when I went back to the States and I was like, $35 for this one meal? I said, well, we ain't eating out no more. Mom's on a budget. That's my grocery, that's my, what do you call, dining out money for the next 2 months. Forget it. Forget it. Good guess though, guys. Emery Girl. No, it's called Kobe's. Fang says, I just followed the locals when they walked. Yeah. Believe me, I do that a lot. Like if I really don't want to cross streets out here, but if I have to, I wait to see if there's a local that's standing on the same side of the road. And then I just sort of like get right next to them and I wait for them to go. And then I just sort of walk with the local because I know they know how to cross that road and like weave through the traffic. So it's always really cool to like hang out with a local and just follow them across the road. If there ain't one to follow, it's like, Hail Mary, oh please God, don't let nothing happen to me today. I just need to get across the road. Why did chicken cross the road? Because she needed to get some noodles. You know, I don't know. That's what we try to do. But it's exhilarating, but it can be very dangerous all at the same time. Excuse me while I blow my nose. I told you I still got this head cold, guys. Although it feels a lot better. I think just talking to you makes me feel better. I know my nose is looking all red and crazy. But yeah, Phnom Penh's a whole nother, it's a whole nother world out here. For you guys that are in the chat that have never been to Cambodia or even the capital city out here, it's amazing. I always find something new. You know what I mean? Like I always see something new at every corner. Now, are there a lot of bad things in the city? Of course there are. I'm not saying that this is like paradise. No, it's not. Every city has, you know, the good side and the bad side. Good people, bad people. For instance, I'll give you an example. For instance, when I was doing my last live stream on the Tuk Tuk and I was in traffic, right? I'll answer your question in a minute, Robert, but if you caught that when, you know, the ride going to Euro Park, there was this guy, you know, they walk out, there's like guys that sell things. They either sell fruit or whatever they sell out in the middle of the street, right? So when traffic stops, they walk up to cars and tuk-tuks and they ask you if you want to buy whatever they got in their hand, right? So this one guy was selling some kind of necklace with flowers on it. I guess it was for Ancestors Day. It looked homemade. So he goes up to this one car and I was filming it. You know, he was right next to the tuk-tuk and the person rolled their window down and they bought a couple of necklaces from the guy. Pretty cool. Well, immediately, right when he was getting the money, I saw there was this woman walking up with a baby in her arms right behind the guy. I doubt those two were together, right? Because the minute he got the money, he split and she's standing in front of the car window expecting to get money too. And the person in the car just immediately rolled up their window and then the traffic started to go again. And she was just standing in the middle of the road with her baby. And you could tell she was poor. Like, it makes you feel bad, man, but then it's like, you know, if their own people aren't giving them money, what does that tell you? That almost like, it gives you a vibe like they're like, hey, we have to work for our cash. We're not just going to hand you money because you're standing in the road with a baby, even though you may really need this cash. But unless you've got a good or a service, they're not just going to hand you money. But that is some of the ugly things that you will see out here and some of the sad things that you'll see. Like I've seen some really, really poor people, like just living on the streets, filthy dirty, man. You think, I mean, and they're crazy. Some of them are like batshit crazy. Like they're just talking to themselves. They're screaming, just like screaming things at cars. Of course, they're screaming in Cambodian, so I have no idea what they're saying. But I've witnessed that stuff. Like I'll just be hanging out at some cafe, and I can hear on the other side of the hey, you know, and they're just nuts, man. I mean, you know, it's a homeless person out there. They're out here, man. They're out here. It's pretty sad. But anyway, yeah, Robert, let me get back to your question. Have you made friends with anyone there? I'd say more acquaintances, not really friends. You know, because I've met some people while I've been out here through the school. I've, of course, met fellow YouTubers out here. My landlady. I'm not a very big, like, outgoing social person. I know it's hard to say, but if I really wanted to, like, mingle, I mean, I guess I could go do to clubs or whatever. I'm not talking bars, but I'm talking, like, maybe an arts and crafts club, or maybe go play badminton somewhere or do something like that and meet people. But I'm more of a homebody, so I have to say the answer to that is no. But I mean, like, if somebody got with me and said, hey, you want to go out for a cup of coffee or dinner, I'd go out, you know, I'm cool. But I don't like to force myself on anybody, and I don't really like anybody forcing themselves on me. Does that make sense? It's just like, I like a good balance. So no, the long answer to that is no. It's more just acquaintances. Oh no, are you kidding, Maven? Professional beggars rent babies to beg with. You know, and that sounds right, because like I mentioned that story about Siem Reap, and I found out that the gang out there was renting mentally disabled people out of the mental ward, and they were using them to collect money from tourists down there. So I would not doubt that one bit, and that's a shame. They would rent a baby? That's sick, man. Sounds like California too. Wow. Oh, that's new. You didn't know about that either, huh, Fang? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. People do anything for money these days, and that's the sad part. Like, people will literally just rent human beings out to make a buck. Pretty sucky. No, I haven't done any movies yet, Maven. VIP cinemas are awesome. Yeah, isn't that the one you said you went to where you got the lounge chair and all that stuff? I'll have to check that out. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big movie person either. I guess I'm pretty boring. I haven't seen any good movies that I really would want to pay to go see. When I could just, like, I can get a free movie on YouTube or whatever. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't really turn me on to do it. I mean, it would be fun, I guess, just to have the experience if the movie was in English. Because if it's all in Khmer or Japanese or something, I got to read subtitles the whole time, I'm not going to enjoy myself, because I would just be like, just reading, constantly reading for 2 hours. I would not dig it at all. Legend Cinema, like the one at Exchange Square. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think I've even been to Exchange Square. I'll have to check that out. Cool. That sounds cool. You never know. I have so much more to explore in this city, it's ridiculous. Like, whenever it hits the mood, they have blockbusters. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If I really want to spend my money on going to the movies. I don't want to sit in an ice cold air conditioned box when I'm trying to fight this cold right now, so don't really want to do that right now at the moment. That's cool, guys. It is just a matter of what you want to see. I guess it's the same like when I went back to Orlando. Um, Orlando is a beautiful city. If you haven't been to downtown Orlando, it's beautiful. Okay, I gotta lie, they keep it up really nice and pretty. There's a big beautiful lake with a nice old fountain that's been around for like 60 years down there. But the downside of it all are the bums. There's a lot of homeless people that live along, it's called Lake Eola, if you ever heard of that, but they all live around Lake Eola in downtown Orlando, and they hang out at the bus stations. I've seen some of them like come and have those DTs where they're shaking real bad and coming off of drugs. And it's the saddest thing, man. It's the saddest thing to see. But yet you're sitting in the middle of this really awesome, beautiful city surrounded by skyscrapers, and people are out, along the lake with their blankets and having picnics, with families and everything. And then you see this other guy is just on the grass, just shaking from drug overdose or whatever. And it's like these two things just don't go together. That's what I'm saying. Is like you're gonna see this everywhere you go, and this place is no exception to it. But it seems like they keep the riverfront pretty clean, at least during the day. Like I don't see. There are some homeless people I've seen hanging out down by the riverfront. Not too many though. I think they try to not do that as much because they know there's a lot of tourists coming through there, so they don't want to scare them away. We can't have, homeless people down there by the riverfront. They're going to scare everybody away. But yeah, but now the railroad tracks that run through here, that's one area I would not want to be walking around with my camera and filming, because there's a lot of poor communities out there. I just remember when I was taking the train from here down to the coast, and we were actually going right through, I would say, the poor side of town, and because everybody was just living under those tin roof kind of shacks, and they were all up against the railroad tracks leaving Phnom Penh. And yeah, it looked pretty bad, man. Pretty bad. Trashy, bad. It was bad and sad all at the same time. And here I am sitting in an air-conditioned train in first class, and I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing these people that are dirt poor at me in the train, and I'm just like, it just doesn't feel right, you know what I mean? I wish everybody in the world could just have money, you know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those people, and I don't mean be rich, I'm just saying, can we all just have enough where none of us have to be poor? Where all of us have a good roof over our head, we got good food in our bellies, we got clothes on our bodies, and then we can focus on other things in life that we can create, or just, you know what I'm talking about? Instead of having to struggle for your life, that everybody on this planet was on an even playing field. And honestly, don't let me go there, but I guess I'm going to go there. But if all these billionaires who are soon to be trillionaires on this planet just shared even maybe half of their wealth and spread it out around the world, we probably would end world hunger. Literally. I really think I think they could do it. I wouldn't say we, because I'm not a billionaire. I don't have $1 billion to hand out. But I think they could do it. But they don't want to do it because they're greedy. My personal opinion. What's Fang saying? They said you need to be mean to force those who have full limbs to go find jobs. Huh. They said you need to be mean to force those who have full limbs to go find jobs. I think I get what you're saying, but I think it would be the other way. It would be mean to force somebody who doesn't have full limbs to go find a job. Um, in fact, I was watching something the other day. It's like a motivational speech kind of channel on YouTube. I don't know. I was just wanting something to uplift my spirits. Man, this made me cry. It was happy and crying all at the same time. But it was this man who was giving a speech. He has no legs. Both his legs are gone. Both his arms are gone. Okay, so he's literally a quadriplegic. But he's got, what do you call those legs that you hook up? I forget what they call them. Anyway, he's able to walk through those. And he's got one mechanical arm that's attached to his elbow. His other arm's completely blown off. He has nothing on it, just his shoulder. But he was like the most upbeat, happy person. And his story, his backstory was that he was a soldier that went to Afghanistan. He was in charge of looking for bombs and was using a detector, a bomb detector, and he said the area was clear. He checked it out himself, but for some reason, I guess he missed one bomb because he went to put his backpack down on the ground, and the minute it touched the ground, it blew up. And it blew his legs off and both his arms off. And luckily, it didn't kill him or mess with his face or anything, and just the sheer, he's like, but in a way it was a blessing. I mean, he was just going on, and just, he had a daughter, younger, and his wife, and he even told his wife when he was laying in the hospital bed, he goes, I know you didn't sign up for this, and, you can take everything. You can take the house, you can divorce me. I don't want to put you through this. And at the time, he had a 3-year-old daughter, and she's like, you know what, I thought about it, but I'm going to stay. And so they stayed married and together, and the guy's just an inspiration. Like, he's out there running marathons for paraplegics. Like, he's just doing stuff. And it made me think, and I was like, think about this. Does it actually take us getting close to losing our life or getting our limbs blown off to actually start to live? To actually do things we want to do with our life? Does it actually take that? Because there was another lady on there, same situation, she had her arms, but she lost her legs due to some viral disease she got. And instead of, being stuck in a wheelchair and going, woe is me, she goes, well, if I can't walk, I'm going to learn to fly. And she got her commercial pilot license. And now she teaches at the very school that she got her pilot license from. And I was thinking to myself, that's amazing. It's just amazing to me. Yeah, artificial limbs. Sadly, yes, for most people. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And then you listen to all these people on social media, and they've got their health. They have their limbs, they got their health, they've got their youth. Like, most of them are in their early 20s, and they're trying to figure out why they're not like making $1 billion right now by age 25, and their life is over, and let me get the violin out. Like, they're not even married with kids yet, but they're complaining, right? You hear them complain, I don't have a house yet. I should be making 6 figures, but I'm not. I'm still living at home with my mommy and daddy. And all of this shit. And then you see these people with their limbs blown off, and they're going for their dreams. That's what I'm saying. So it's taking that. I mean, I guess, in a way, I didn't have to get my limbs blown off to get my ass in gear. But what got me in gear was just the loss of my husband and my family. Just to actually be going from funeral to funeral to funeral to funeral, burying them all ahead of me, made me actually have a wake-up call and say, you know what? you're next. If you don't get your ass in gear, you're going to be 6 feet in the ground. Your kids are going to be burying you, and all your dreams are going to be buried in the ground with you. Excuse me. And that was my wake-up call, and that's what got my ass in gear to make traveling a reality. I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Like, it's not happening, man. I'm not gonna die with my dreams still inside of me. I'm going to make this happen, and it's not gonna take me losing a limb to do it. I thank God every day that I have all my limbs, I have my health. I mean, a cold comes and goes, right? But I thank God every day for what I do have, and I try not to complain. Even though, I have my moments, I do complain. ER in the house. Elizabeth, right? Tell me about it. I lost my 2 youngest sons. Aw, half my family, life is short, it really is. Oh, I'm so sorry you lost your 2 youngest sons. Oh, that's terrible. Hi, Megan. Hi. True, poverty is a man-made phenomenon. Yeah, yeah. Well, let's face it. Think about it. Yeah, all back in history, just think about this. When we stopped bargaining for things, like, hey, I got some rice in exchange for your pair of shoes. Can we trade? When we stopped doing that, and then all of a sudden somebody had a bright idea, well, let's get this piece of gold out of the ground, and we'll mint it into a coin, and we're going to use that instead for money. I think that's when all our problems actually started, especially with poverty. Because then they, the rich, the ones that invented the whole system of money and currency and banks and financing, they knew how to manipulate it, and they weren't sharing that knowledge with most of the masses. Why don't they teach that financial education to this day in high school? Why isn't there even, I know in the United States, I can't talk about any other places around the world, but my kids didn't have a finance class in high school. I was their finance teacher. They didn't know how to balance a checkbook. They didn't know anything about credit cards. They didn't even know how to write a check. Of course, now writing checks is pretty obsolete today, but you still need to know how to do it. I was the finance teacher, and that's what I'm saying. And most of these kids today, they're 18 years old out of high school, and yet they're getting handed credit cards with $10, $20, $30,000 limits on it. But yet they're not old enough to go buy a beer at the store. You have to be 21. Why? Oh, we don't want them to hurt themselves. If God forbid, they get drunk off that beer before age 21. But yet it's okay to have a credit card with $30,000 credit limit. Hey, don't worry about it. Free money. Come on. It's all part of their plan. I know, I'm going down conspiracy theory, but think about that. Think about that. Yeah, they won't have any workers, right? You got that right. Entrapment. Yeah, and that's another thing, like, we've been how do we say this word? I can't say the word. Damn it. Indoctrinated? Shit. I'm trying to be fancy and it ain't coming out right. We definitely live in a debt-based system. Yeah, it's all that. It's a debt-based system, but it doesn't really benefit you and I. It benefits the ones up on the 1% ladder, right? They need us to buy their goods and services, or it doesn't work. The whole system will just implode. Indoctrinated. That's the word, Matt. Thank you so much. I couldn't say it. I couldn't get it out. The man. Yeah, it's the man. It's the man. And just circling back to like, you know, how they shove everything in your face, like, well, you need to buy the latest iPhone. Guess what? The iPhone 17 is out. Come get it now. It's only $1,500. And then people are lined up out the door waiting for this metal box to pay $1,500 for, that maybe just has a different shade of color from the last one, maybe has an extra camera lens, but is still the same damn phone. And your phone that you're replacing still works. But yet you got to have the latest iPhone because they told you you need the latest iPhone or you're not cool, right? Same thing with the car. Oh, you can't be driving a car that's got 100,000 miles on it. It's going to break down. But yet it's driving perfectly fine for you. But don't you want this shiny new little car over here? You know, your car payment's only going to be $1,200 a month. I mean, come on. Please. My philosophy is don't be a sheep. Be your own person. Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. Well, that's why I jumped out of the Matrix. Like, yes, it did take me losing my family to well, it didn't wake me up. Let's put it this way. I always had the dream of traveling since I was young. And like I said, if you catch that interview with me, you'll understand the whole backdrop. But as they say, life happens. So I had to put the dream on the back burner because I got married, I was raising kids, and then on and on and on, and all that stuff started happening. Then the dream came to the forefront again, and I was like, I want to travel, and I'm going to find a damn way to do it too. Come hell or high water, I'm going to make it work. And not only am I going to travel, but I'm going to live somewhere overseas where my money will stretch further and where I will not have to go back to work after I'm done traveling. So I pre-planned that for years. Everybody I told my kids, they didn't think I was crazy. They thought it was pretty cool, but they were like a little worried. They were like, well, Mom, you know, you're a single mom, you're a single woman out there. Like, we're a little scared for you. And I was like, don't worry, I'm going to be fine. I'm not trying to like hang out in the bad sections where I go. I'm going to make sure I go into the decent sections of town. But yeah, I mean, I remember telling a few people at my job before I quit, and some of them were pretty receptive to it. And some of them would just, you know, you would see this blank stare in their eyes, like that. You know what they're thinking. They're thinking, you're fucking crazy. There's no way you're going to do that. You're not going to have the money to do that. You'll still be working here for another 10 years. You can see them thinking that as you're telling them. That's why I recommend don't tell anybody your plans. So, yeah, but the joke's on them. Because I'm not working there no more. That's right. Let's go. Matt says, you've got it, Tammy. Corporation is killing us with material obsession. Although this stream is a bit heavy for me. Have a good day, everyone. Okay. Hey, no problem, Matt. Take care. Take care. Yeah, it gets into a lot of stuff. I don't know. Sometimes I just start to rambling, start getting into stuff. But, yeah. It really makes you think. It really does. Now you are living your life on your own terms. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Elizabeth, I am. I'm living my life on my own terms. And I love it. You know what I mean? It's like, if I don't want to go anywhere, I don't go anywhere. If I want to go do something, I go do something. If I want to be creative and try something new, I do something new. I actually have time for me, which is so wild because, like you said, from the minute you're born, you're told to go to school. You're told to be working within a schedule. You're told when to piss. You're told when to go home. You're told when to eat. And then it moves from school. You do 12 years of that, memorizing facts and not really actually learning them, right? because you have to get the grade, or otherwise you're worthless. You know, this is all beat into your head. And then you get out into the real world. Now you're told to get a job, to make money, to buy things you really don't really need, to impress people you don't know or like. But you're never, and then again, you're at this job where you're told where to, like, when to piss, when your breaks are, how long your lunch is gonna be, and you're told when to go home. We do that all our lives. I mean, I guess you can call that corporate slavery. Like, they found a way to keep us enslaved, but yet they give us a paycheck. It's like dangling a carrot in front of you, but you never get the carrot. You get close enough to the carrot to smell it. That keeps you going, but you never get the carrot itself. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. Fang says, when people start working for their needs before or rather than their wants, then life will be better for them. Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, you got to have some dream of something that you want. I think that's important too. But I'm not talking about, well, it might be a material possession. Like, some people, their dream is to have a fantastic home in Hawaii. Okay, I'm just using that as an example. Maybe that's always been your dream. That's your dream, right? But that's not my dream. But I agree, if we can all get our needs met and not have to worry, you know, eating hand to mouth or living paycheck to paycheck, then we can start to get to our wants. Yeah, all I can tell you guys is, ever since that I've left my job and I've been traveling, I've been living here in Cambodia, it's been the most liberating thing. And I want this for you. I want this for you, everybody on this live stream, and anybody who watches this after. You've got to find a way to fulfill your dream and make it work, because otherwise you will always be miserable. Nothing that you can buy in a store is ever, or online, is ever going to make you happy, ever. I was one of those Amazon junkies, okay? I had an apartment full of crap. I never even, half the stuff I never needed. I used to go to the mall and buy clothes that I maybe wore one time, be sitting in my closet. And always I would look at the clothes and I'd be like, well, maybe one day, you know, I'd keep them forever. I mean, oh, maybe one day I might need this top. I might want to wear it somewhere. Never wore it. Wore it one time, spent $50 on a top, wore it one time. I think about all the money and the time I wasted, you know, and then it was like, then that's when, you know, I started buckling down, especially when the kids came in. I was like, I have to really, really buckle down. I wouldn't call it sacrificing. I would say it was actually getting back to sanity. It was actually getting back to sanity, where you start to have zero debt and you got more money in your emergency savings than you have on your credit card that you owe. And that is the most liberating freedom I can tell. Like right now, I'm a rich woman because I have no debt, no credit card bills, no subscriptions that I pay for. I have no car. I mean, a lot of people would look at me and say, well, you're poor. There must be something wrong with you. But no, I'm very much rich. I'm very rich and very free, because I go to bed, I sleep like a baby every night, knowing that I don't owe anybody anything. There are no creditors that are after me. Zero. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Amazon junkies, right. Aw, you like listening to my philosophy. I'm glad somebody does. Thanks, Emery girl. Elizabeth says, I'm going to get a little deep here. Let's do it. I always said when I'm on my deathbed, I wanted to look back and say I lived life. That's okay. I saw the world and I appreciated all cultures. Material things weigh you down. Yeah. Think about it. The more you have to look after and the more you stress out. You get what I'm saying? And the more you think that people are going to steal from you, right? Like if you have a garage full of things that you never even care about, but yet you lock your garage up because you're afraid somebody's going to steal it, but yet you don't even want it. So it's like, why are you worried about this stuff that you never use? Why did you buy it in the first place? Why do you need all of that extra anxiety and pressure in your life? Why don't you just get rid of it? A lot of people can't do that. They can't do it. Fang says they usually come over to ask if they can use my recycle bin for their used cardboard boxes. Okay. What up? Clark's in the house. Hey, Clark. We're just having some good discussion today. I'm glad you jumped in. Exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like when I was getting rid of my things out of my apartment before I hit the road traveling, I was just looking at everything. I had, like I said, piles of clothes from my closet, just threw it all on the floor. I was like, I can't even get, I called up the Salvation Army because they said that, or was it Goodwill? I think it might have been Goodwill. Because, oh, we'll come over and pick up your used stuff for free, right? I couldn't give it away. They wouldn't come. They're like, well, you know, we got a schedule on such a day, and we've got all these other pickups. And it was like, I'm leaving in a week. Are you going to come get the clothes or not? We can't. You have to bring them to us. I had so much clothes sitting on that floor. I said, there's no way I'm loading this shit up in this car. I don't have time for this. So you know what I did? I just left it all on the apartment floor. And I told the lady when I gave him my key, when I was done and I was checking out and I was giving him my key at the office, I says, oh, FYI, whatever's in the apartment you can keep. And you know, if you need to charge me to move some of that stuff out of there, I don't care. I says, I don't have time for it. You can have whatever's in the apartment or you can just get rid of it. It's up to you. They never did charge me though, which was amazing. I'm surprised they didn't charge me because there was like giant piles of clothes all over. Mention a bunch of dishes that I left behind. I just literally just walked out of the apartment. The only things that were taken out of my apartment was this young couple, because I put my stuff up on Facebook Marketplace. And there was this young couple. They said they didn't have any money to buy anything, and they had 2 young kids. And they're like, well, would you consider donating your furniture to us? We really need furniture bad. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, come and get it. I said, but you have to get it. I said, if you got a pickup truck and you can get over here in the next 2 days, you can have my furniture. And they were there, buddy. Johnny on the spot. They were there with their 2 young kids. It was a couple in their early 20s, and it was the guy's dad. So they were all there, and they were loading up my furniture. I said, you can have it. I said, hey, do you want any clothes while you're here? And shoes? None of it would fit the girl, unfortunately. I was like, besides, she didn't want no old lady clothes, right? But man, it was the weirdest feeling, though, but it was really liberating, too. To just walk away from stuff. You know, all I had was my backpack, man. That's it. I had the clothes on my back and I had my backpack full of some stuff I needed. And that's it. I just walked away from it all. And then when I finally got on the airplane and flew out for the first time, and I was like, do I miss any of my things? Do I miss my couch? No. Do I miss all the clothes in my closet that I never wore? No. Do I miss my dishes? No. Then why was I so concerned about them before I left? Priorities, man. Priorities. And even to this day, like I've accumulated a few things here in this apartment, but I'm trying to keep it under wraps because I know I'm going to be here for a little while. But I was like, no, I'm not going to get to that point where I'm out there just blowing money and spending things I don't need to buy. I'm done with that because there will be a day when I'm going to just pack up what I've got in my suitcase and I'm going to walk away from this apartment. Just like I did back in the States, I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, Maven, take care. Talk to you later. Fang says, that's why it's important to know what your wants and needs are. Buying a house in Hawaii isn't a need. It can be worked on after the need. Yeah, it's true. You know, I was just using that as an example. Like some people, maybe the ultimate thing they want is they want to buy I don't know, a big gold necklace. You know, they want to have their chain hanging down to their dangling, you know. Or they want gold rim teeth, you know, they want to look cool. And then once you get it, it's like, okay, it's nice. What's the next thing? And you just keep moving on and on and on. What do you have? Oh, what are you talking about, demand? Are you talking about my cold? We're getting into all kinds of conversations. You have to be specific. Thanks, is me too. Getting late here as well. See you next time. Okay, take care. Take care. We'll catch you later. Catch you later. Thank you for coming in and doing the live chat. Oh, yeah, my battery's starting to run low, guys. Okay. This is good. This is good. I appreciate everybody who's coming on the live stream. And like I said, if you didn't catch it earlier, let me put it in the live stream again since we got new people in here. But what I'm going to send you guys in the live chat, that's the link to Wondering's YouTube channel that actually he interviewed me, okay? So if you want to go catch that after the live stream or whatever, I just thought I'd put it out there. It was a pretty good interview. I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I think I'll call the ball. And thank you for the conversation, guys. Thank you for all the tips to help me feel better. Luckily, I have not sneezed as much today while I've been talking to you. So that I think you're the cure. You guys are the cure. But yeah, if you need any kind of Cambo merch, I got your back. I have some really cool designs that I've created myself. Just go to my website, nextstepunknown.me, and you can catch all the merch on there. Especially if you're getting ready to come to Cambodia, you might want to sport a cool t-shirt. You see what I'm talking about? Anyway, I'll catch you in the next live stream. It will actually be sometime tomorrow, and we will be on location. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, hence the name of the channel. Don't know what I'm doing next, so you don't want to miss it. All right? All right. Take care, guys. I'll catch you later. Peace out.